Hi, everybody. Just letting everybody get logged on. Just bear with me. Sorry, I'm not even in my tripod. I don't know where I am, and it's sinking as I'm as I'm trying to enter my phone into it. It's falling on the floor. My alarm's going off. Help! Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm having a moment. Can you guys hear me? Somebody say something.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Yay. Okay, just letting everybody get logged on. And I'm supposed to add somebody, so bear with me while I do that, please. Hi, everybody. Got new stuff we're going to talk about today. Got some interesting things going on. Just bear with me really quickly. I'm trying to invite someone. All right, getting everybody in here. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. People in the waiting room, let them in, let them in, admit all. Here we go. I got stuff to tell you guys. There's things happening. Things are going on. But like I said, just letting everybody get logged on. I got information. I got a list of stuff to share with you guys today. A list. I'm excited about it. Still getting people in, so bear with me. Roadrunner's getting in here. It's getting all my peeps on. Get ready. I got some interesting things to share with you today. I'm trying to get somebody in my meeting. Sorry. I have a new secret weapon, is what's going on. And I'm trying to get him in my meeting, and I'm having technical difficulties, damn it. So check this out. I got a new insurance guy, folks. And he's awesome. He's awesome. And I'm trying to get him in here, but it's telling him it needs my meeting ID. Does anybody know what the meeting ID number is? Can anybody tell me or type in there what the meeting ID number is? I have no idea. I suck at this. And I know somebody out there is going, I know how to fix this, Patty. Let me go look. That's the meeting ID number, Roadrunner. Okay, I'm going to give it to him. Thank you for helping me, you guys. Yay, you guys are all awesome. Here's the Zoom link. You guys, I love you guys. Okay, I'm letting people in. Just bear with me. Still have stuff going on. Okay, I've been a busy little bee. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but I got something new on the website. It just got uploaded today, so you probably didn't see it yet. But we have a new tool on Widgets Way. We have a brand new RSO security deposit interest calculator. So it will tell you what the security deposit interest is for each year. So if you have a $3,200 deposit or a $6,200 deposit, it doesn't matter. It's going to calculate your annual interest for you. It's a tool that we now have available on Widgets Way. So I am really, really excited about it. It's in the tools on the website under RSO interest calculator. So now we have LA City's security deposit interest calculator tool on Widgets Way website to help you. And I also want to ask you guys what other tools you guys need. So far, I have calculating the CPI for the statewide rent control. That's a calculator that's on there to help you guys. I have figuring out a prorate, a move-in prorate. So that's in there to help you guys. And then I believe I also have now the RSO security deposit interest calculator. If you guys need more tools like this, talk to me. I have no problem building one for Pasadena's Measure H. Anything that I can help have my web guys build and put into place to make our lives easier is in a much better idea for us. Okay. So, one of the other things that I wanted to share with you guys is I want to know what other tools you want. I mean, these are all tools I would want, so I'm assuming you would want them too. If you want them, let me know. If you don't, I'm okay with that. I did
Thank you,
see,
Patti.
no problem. Forms are coming out at the end of Agla's doing fillable forms. I'm working on that. It launches at the end of this month. Wish me luck. We should have fillable forms. That way, when you click on your 3-day notice, when you click on it, you can go down the list of tenants and click on which ones you want, and then it'll autofill all of your notices except for the dollar amount. We're not trying to do your damn accounting. Don't get me signed up for that. Okay. Hi, Val, let me answer your question really quick, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about other things. So hang on. In a 2-bedroom, I need a smoke detector in each bedroom, one in the hallway, but do I need one in the living room? You need one in the cooking area, one outside of the sleeping areas. I put one in each bedroom, one in the hallway. Make sure it's opposite of your heat exchanger or you're going to have a problem. One CO2 in the living room where the wall heater is or the hallway. The best thing for you to ask to be involved with who's the right person that you want to have, or where the right placement is for your CO2 and smoke detectors is going to be your fire marshal. That's who determines where those go. So fire marshal can help answer those questions for you.
Patti, if there is someone sleeping in the living room, definitely they force you to have one there too.
Absolutely. They should be in all sleeping areas. So if you're utilizing the 2+1, that's a great analogy. I've been working diligently on habitability claims. I actually have a complete list of breaching the warranty to provide habitable premises, or what would be considered habitability claims, from the LA City Housing Department. So I'm going to be talking more about that. In habitability seems to be a defense in an eviction lawsuit right now. So it is a great defense. And it is our responsibility to provide a habitable dwelling. We have an implied warranty. What that means is if we rent a house, there's implied, meaning regardless of whether it's in writing or not, you, the landlord, must provide a habitable dwelling. That is the implied warranty to provide habitable premises. So we're going to do a lot more education on that, because if you have these issues in your property, your tenant doesn't owe the rent. So I want to teach you what to listen for, what to watch for, so that you guys can catch these habitability issues. Because in my opinion, habitability means fix it yesterday, don't wait till tomorrow. If they don't have to pay rent, I want to fix it now. I want my money. So with that said, we need to be cautious with the habitability issues. They are a full lined sheet of paper and then another half page. So I'd say there's probably about 40, if I had to, no, maybe about 30. There's probably about 30 different issues that are breaching the warranty to provide habitable premises, which I'm going to go over in the future. The reason I brought this up, because CO2 detectors and smoke detectors are habitability issues. If they are not in, not working, not functioning, the tenant doesn't owe rent. It's also a health and safety violation, just so that we're aware.
Patti, can you repeat the location where they have to be in the bedrooms, and did you say hallway?
No.
Oh,
All
sorry.
sleeping areas.
Sleeping areas
I mean, look
for,
at it this way. It's supposed to wake somebody up, right?
yes.
From a fire. So all sleeping areas, if you're utilizing 2+1, meaning 2 per bedroom plus 1 on the couch, you better have 1 in the living area.
Okay.
CO2 detectors need to be where you have gas appliances. So heaters, gas stoves, that's where your CO2 goes. Most of them now make hardwired detectors that have 10-year batteries in them. And when the unit dies, you chuck it and buy a new one, because you can't replace the batteries in the newer units. Those are now required with the 10-year batteries in them. The other ones are dinosaurs. And the other thing that I was going to tell you about CO2 and smoke detectors, hold on, because I had one more thing, If they're missing, inoperable, or defective, it is a habitability issue, both on CO2 and on smoke detectors. If they are hardwired and sometimes you have one that goes bad, they will all chime in. They will scream and shout. Let me tell you. But there are requirements and they vary by city or by county, hence why I'm telling you to go talk to the fire marshal in your area and they will tell you exactly where they need to be placed. Okay, you guys are bombing me with questions. I love it. So the CO2 should be in the living room with a wall heater. How far away I was going to put in the hallway, but in the living room opposite wall. They could be mounted on the ceiling. When they first came out, they had to be mounted in a certain area, so many inches from the ceiling, not on the ceiling. That's all changed. A lot of things have changed since this was enacted. It feels like something sticky's on me. I'm sorry. You know why tenants are the ones removing the smoke alarms, Val? Because they can't cook. Okay? Just saying. Usually, when I do an inspection of a property, the smoke detector is always missing out of the kitchen. I always snicker a little bit because I already know somebody burns some toast or they do it often. Okay, one or the other. But it is the tenants that are removing them. Unfortunately, it's our responsibility to provide habitable premises, so it falls on us. Okay? Yes, I know how to fix the ones that are messed up, Christina, so pay attention. Both CO2 and smoke detectors in kitchen depends on if you have gas appliances. CO2 are required for any gas appliance. If you have an all-electric property, the chances of you needing a CO2 detector are slim and none. It is carbon monoxide put off by a gas appliance. As far as I know, electric appliances don't emit carbon monoxide. Did I say it right? I gotta look because I always say dioxide. One of them's good for you, one of them's not. Carbon monoxide is bad, okay? Only dryer is gas and stove is electric. Where's the dryer? Is it in the garage or in the unit? Because if it's in the unit, then you need a CO2 detector in the laundry room. Get what I'm saying? Yep, you need a CO2 detector in the hallway then. Does anyone know how to fix the ones that don't stop beeping after replacing the batteries on the hardwired detector? Here's my tip for you, okay? I had a house that had all hardwired smoke detectors and CO2 detectors in them. For the longest freaking time, okay, like 6 months, we went crazy chasing this smoke detector that was beeping, okay? We could not find it for the life of us. Mind you, all of mine are hardwired and they all have green lights on them. Green light means it's functioning properly. Red light means it's not. Okay, so the ones that have a green light on them are okay. The one that has a red light on them needs to be replaced. Okay, check this out. For 6 months, almost 8 months, we chased this thing. It got to the point where it was going off literally every 5 minutes. A friend of mine came over and was like, "Do you hear that beeping?" And I'm like, "Yes, I tried to make it stop. I can't find it." Do you know that it was a CO2 detector that wasn't plugged in, that was dying on its 9-volt battery that was in one of my drawers in the kitchen, in the junk drawer? And I know why it was there, okay? It was there because I'm in the business. And at the time we had to install CO2 detectors, we were buying them in bulk. Like I had 3,500 units I needed to go install CO2 detectors in a 6-week period. Wish me luck. Okay. So I bought them in bulk. I had them everywhere. I had them in my car. People would come in to pay their rent and I'd hand them a CO2 detector and have them sign that it was installed in their property. I mean, I was on it. Okay. But they were in my car. They were in my purse. They were everywhere. Okay. Apparently, there was one in the junk drawer in the kitchen with a battery in it that drove me crazy for months. And I kept looking up at the smoke detectors to try to find it, and it wasn't there. It was in a drawer. So weird things happen, okay? Yeah, I chased that one for a long time. One day, my son came home from a long weekend, and he walked in the front door and he said, "Hi, Mom, how you doing?" And in one hand I had a 9-volt battery, and in the other hand I had the 12-gauge shotgun. And I looked at him, I said, "I'm doing great, but I'd be doing better if you fixed this, because if you don't, I'm going to." And he looked at the 9-volt battery, and of course he looks up at the ceiling that I can't reach and goes, "Huh, what are you gonna do, Mom? Blow a roof in your own house, blow a hole in your own roof of your own house?" I said, "If I have to, yes." I can't reach it. You fix it or I'm gonna. I hate the beeping noise. It's annoying. Okay, hang on. More questions coming in my chat here. This is from a quick search in California. Smoke detectors are required in every bedroom, outside each sleeping area, in the hallway, and on every level of the home, including basements. Remind you, we're talking about two different things: smoke detectors and CO2 detectors. They make a lot of combo units now, but if you have a full-on electric house, you don't need a freaking combo unit, okay? And it's required on every level of the home, including basements. Okay, makes sense. Julia, hi. Hi, Julia. Anybody that still wants a t-shirt, Julia has them. If you don't know what I'm talking about, tell her you want more information on a widget t-shirt. I know people are getting their orders. Thank you, Julia, for creating those for us. They are awesome. Clark is always wearing his "I don't look good" in orange. On a month-to-month agreement, if the home becomes uninhabitable, do you have to cover 1 month of a hotel, assuming there's no renter's insurance for the remainder of the month? On a month-to-month rental agreement, if the home becomes uninhabitable, do you have to cover 1 month of hotel? It depends on what the agreement says. I'm looking in my head right now in a car forms contract, in a CAA contract, and I know how to terminate if the home becomes uninhabitable if they're on a month to month. If they're in a term, you definitely have to provide habitable premises until the term is over or buy them out of their contract.
No term, it's month to month. So how would,
I was trying to plant a seed. I got you, Julia.
oh,
What I'm
okay.
trying to do is plant a seed for everybody else. If they're on a month to month and the bathroom burns down because they left the curling iron plugged into the toilet. I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking.
Yeah.
The bathroom burns down. It's the only bathroom in the house. Bam, the house is uninhabitable. It's now uninhabitable. There is no bathroom. Okay, with that being said, if they are on a month to month, you could probably terminate the tenancy with a 3-day notice to quit, not pay rent or quit. And I'm not giving legal advice, okay? The process and procedure of that would be to terminate the tenancy with a 3-day notice to quit because the landlord can no longer provide a habitable dwelling. If you're in a term for time, you cannot do that. You have obligated yourself to provide a habitable dwelling until that term for time is over, unless you buy them out. That's what I was trying to
I would
say.
run it by your attorney because
Of course, but yes,
it's very one-sided. Like, don't we have to give like 60? It's like double the notice requirement for.
it depends on the jurisdiction. If we're in San Bernardino County, which is where Julia is, okay, this is why I'm talking
Yeah, but it
different
seems to me I remember
different jurisdiction.
state law seemed to be pretty biased as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, couldn't agree with you
I
more.
think under state law, you still are required like a much longer notice period to terminate a month to month than a tenant is.
It depends on what the problem is. If it's no longer habitable, it depends on the language in the back of the lease regarding providing habitable premises. I promise. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, if I wanted to renovate, I would give existing tenants notice to move out, and that's it. I've heard of rent evict. Wouldn't want to be accused of that and don't anticipate they could afford after renovations have been done. That is a huge problem. A lot of LA landlords in LA County were using the major renovations as a reason to get the tenants out of the premises. That no longer works. Major renovations don't require that. Usually it's going to take a court order for the major renovations or something of the like in order to evict them in LA County under that pretense. Can you explain the difference between an addendum versus a 30-day notice of change of terms of tenancy? Yes. Everybody paying attention? An addendum is something that you use normally in the beginning of a lease or a month-to-month contract, and both parties sign and agree to an addendum. Okay? Everybody got that? An addendum could be about bed bugs. It could be about mold disclosure. If you have multiple addendums, the terminology for that is addenda, not addendums. Okay? Remember, it's Latin, everything's backwards. So if you have multiple addenda attached to your lease contract, they are signed and agreed to, usually at inception. In the event we miss that or need to change a rule, what we do is a 30-day notice of change of terms of tenancy. When we change a term, the tenant is not required to sign that. That's why we give 30 days. We're warning them. It doesn't take effect immediately. 30-day change of terms of tenancy means we're changing a rule. It could be, sorry, somebody's trying to call me. It could be that somebody is, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Squirrel!
Oh,
Hold
this
on.
is in regard to the addendum.
Addendum versus change of terms. A change of terms is a rule you're changing, or it could be that you're adding an addendum that you forgot to include, but you have to give them 30 days and you're changing that rule. They don't have to sign and agree to it. Think about it this way. Would a tenant ever sign and agree to a 30-day notice of change of terms of tenancy regarding a rent increase? The answer is no. So that's the difference. An addendum is signed by both parties and usually enacted at inception, at the signing of a lease or a month-to-month contract. A 30-day change of terms is you changing the rule. The rule that you're changing could be that you're adding an addendum, and that's fine too, but you have to allow the 30 days there. It doesn't take effect immediately. That's the difference.
So when I removed one of the tenants because they got a divorce, I mean, I didn't label it. I guess that would fall as a 30, it's a change of the rental agreement. So I'm guessing that would fall under the 30-day notice change of terms of tenancy. But I mean, she's signing off. I can't be like, oh, I'll remove you in 30 days. Like, so I didn't label it. Maybe I was supposed to label it 30-day notice change of terms of tenancy, but I
It's
just,
all in a business practice. Hang on. If somebody's getting a divorce and they want out and they want to sign removing them from the lease, you can use an addendum because all parties are willing to sign and agree. See how that worked? When they're
oh,
not willing
okay.
to sign and agree, you have to change the rules. All
Okay.
you need from that person is something stating, I know I have no further interest in the property located at, and the full address. Okay? What that does is it says if they have no further interest, you don't have to allocate the security deposit to them.
Mhm.
If you don't get this letter from them, 10 years from now, when the original tenant moves out, you still have to issue the deposit refund check to both parties.
Okay, so it would be an addendum, not, I mean, either way, I didn't label it and I already had them sign, but it would
Right.
be an addendum.
If you're having them sign it, it's an addendum because you guys are both agreeing. If
Mhm.
you're changing the rule and they're not going to sign and agree to it, it needs to be on a 30-day notice of change terms of tenancy.
Okay, got it. And then, sorry, just to clarify for the, if I wanted to renovate, I would just give a notice to move out. I mean, let's just go, to the extreme, 90
Well,
day notice to move out.
let's talk about this in detail. You're talking about a property in San Bernardino County exempt from rent control. Is it subject to statewide rent control?
Um,
AB
yes,
1482.
yes, because I never gave the notice
So you
back.
have to have cause to terminate tenancy, and it's not because you want to, and you have to pay relocation fees. So I would talk to your attorney if major renovations works out there because you'd have to have the permits pulled and the scope of work with the, I almost said
But
engineer, but it's not an engineer, it's a contractor.
What about just raising the rent? If you, I mean,
She has to be careful she doesn't cause a constructive eviction, and she can only raise the rent by 7.5% because she didn't disclose that it's exempt from maybe 1482.
yeah, but 7.5% is still something that a lot of people are not gonna stomach.
I understand that. I really hope legislation is talking about removing the 5% from AB 1482 and only allowing the CPI. And in the event that that happens, oh, Yeah, the whole state of California is going to feel that one. The whole state.
So renovation isn't a legitimate cause to ask, or a
I would
legitimate
be
reason?
asking your legal counsel about
Oh.
terminating tenancy. They eliminated that in LA County. They removed that major renovations because too many landlords were going, oh, my brother's a contractor. I have permits pulled. I have this, and this is what I'm doing. And they were kicking people out that way. And it was causing a big problem. So they went back, revamped, revoted, and said, you can't do it for major renovations unless you have a court order.
So I guess it's really important to have that signed where it's that paper saying that you're not subject to the, what is it called? The tenant protection
The Tenant Protection Act, the statewide extortion. It's got a lot of names. It even has a civil code. I believe it's 1941.1.
This is the reason why I've given up drafting leases. This is why I like a CAA lease because it's all right there. I'm pretty sure AGLA has it too. That way you don't forget a really important critical issue like that.
Yes. Checking that little box is a big deal.
The other thing is, it doesn't apply to Julia because you're not in LA, but if you change and put in an addendum, I think that's considered a change in the lease, and then you're subject to refrigerator, stove stuff.
Wait.
I think you're subject to refrigerator, stove stuff, period.
You're subject to refrigerator, stove stuff regardless. As
No,
of
but
January.
if you had an old tenant who was in, but now you put an addendum, then I think that considers a new term or something. I think it changes it.
When their lease expires on an existing tenant, then you have to disclose about the refrigerator stove law once their lease expires.
Which I did with all my tenants, even my, like really, 10 years, they all know about it. So, okay, got it. Thank you.
What if it's month to month? Do we still need to disclose the refrigerator stuff?
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. It says under California state law, Assembly Bill 628, if I'm not mistaken, yes, it is Assembly Bill 628, says that landlords must provide stoves and ovens and refrigerators. Now, we got a waiver on the refrigerator. We did not get a waiver on the stove and oven. Those need to be provided by landlords, period, end of report, as of January 1st, or they are considered most likely a habitability issue. Okay. On the refrigerator, they did allow a provision for a tenant to provide their own refrigerator, but you do need to have something in writing stating that they are providing their own refrigerator. And in the event they want the landlord to provide it, they will notify them with a 30-day notice, a 5-day notice, something so that you have a little bit of prep time. When annually a lease term renews, it renews annually, right? That could be in July, it could be in August, it could be whenever. When does a month-to-month tenancy renew? Monthly. So you need to have that on file now, because a month-to-month renews monthly. So we need that addendum on file now for all existing tenants, unless they're currently in a term. Once the term expires, you need that on file.
If you have them on month to month, but you provide the appliances, you don't.
Then don't worry about a darn thing.
Okay, great, thank you.
No problem, Arlene. Right now, put me on mute. There is an LAHD webinar at 3 p.m. today. If you have not paid your RSO registration of units, it appears the JCO is a 2-year renewal. So what Arlene is saying, she's letting everybody know there's a webinar for free today on LAHD's website at 3 o'clock. And just so you know, if you do your JCO, it's every 2 years, whereas RSO is every year.
Wait, then why'd they accept my money 2 years in a row?
I would talk to them because Arlene recently got a certificate that doesn't expire until 2027.
All right, I guess I got to look at the certificate again.
Look at it again. Let's all talk. This is why we have this group, you guys. We are stronger together. Okay, Christina, let's get to you. City of Carson, okay? This is only subject to statewide rent control, meaning they don't have any city ordinance. The county doesn't govern them either. They are incorporated. So the only restriction she has is AB 1482. There is an unauthorized occupant living in the home. How do I handle? Increase rent and make him apply? I honestly don't mind the additional tenant, but I want to increase the rent. It seems like the perfect reason to do the increase. Here's the problem. You probably don't have anything in your contract stating that you're going to charge a fee for additional occupants. Therefore, it's just an unauthorized occupant because you don't have a fee built into there. You can't just raise the rent because they brought somebody in. And if you've already done your annual rent increase, you're only allowed one per year, right? Under statewide rent control. Hello. So if we've already increased the rent, that isn't something we can do. However, we can ask them about the unauthorized occupant. We can tell them that we can add them to the lease and sign a new contract for a new monthly amount. Otherwise, it's unauthorized, a material breach of the lease, and a reason for you to do an eviction. I'm not telling you to do the eviction. It's expensive and costly, but that's one of the ways you can handle it is I don't have to allow this. I will let you know that you need to know this, so pay attention. In the event that unauthorized occupant becomes a spouse, in other words, if they're a girlfriend, boyfriend right now, and you serve the notice, a 30-day change terms or a 3-day, and they turn around and go get married, marriage is a protected class in the state of California, and you can do absolutely nothing but add them to the lease and smile about it, okay? Val, I'm putting a young couple on a year's lease starting tomorrow on 4/9. What is the correct date? Yep, 4/8/27, Val. You don't want to add more time. Less time is better, more time is bad, okay? Plus, they are bringing their own fridge. Is that a new addendum in CAA? CAA should have a fridge addendum for that. If they don't, ask me, text me, and I can get you over the verbiage that you need regarding the fridge addendum. But you're spot on for it being 4/8/27. That is your end date. Do not go up in time. Come down in time. Don't go up in time. Look, and you're the owner of record, so it doesn't apply to you. Things that people that are managing property for profit need to know. If you're signing a lease for over 1 year as a licensed agent or a broker, you need to include all the additional disclosures that you would with a sales transaction because it's for over 1 year. If it's under 1 year, you don't have to do that as a broker or a sales agent managing property for profit. The simple answer is if your landlord wants, if the owner wants a lease signed for longer than for 1 year or longer, have them sign the contract. It's much easier. Okay? You don't sign it.
Patty, what if you have this person move in the previous question?
Mm-hmm.
You don't say anything, and then they become a problem in 3 months or 4 months, but you've known about it all that time. Can you still go in and say,
technically, you should remedy upon notification. It's the most ethical thing to do. So in the event, once it becomes your knowledge, if you turned a blind eye to it, but you were talking to them and communicating with them, you knew. They've established a tenancy and your time to react has expired.
You're also handing them various defenses.
Bingo.
Contract law,
for harassment.
All kinds of things.
Like latches, like when you don't enforce the term of a contract.
Yep. It creates a whole nother snollygoster of bureaucracy and bullshit that we don't even need to talk about today. So with that said, it's much better to remedy upon notification. Even with repairs, as soon as we're notified, we want to get on them and fix them. Same concept.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So can I end the year's lease on 5/31/27, 3/30? Yes, you can. Less time, not more, Val. More time is a problem. Less time, not so much. You can make it an 8-month lease.
But it depends on the jurisdiction, right? Don't you have to
She's in Kern County. Sorry. There's things I know that I don't express on here and I apologize. Yes, in certain jurisdictions, you are required to give a 1-year contract at hello. LARSO, I believe, is one of them. Santa Monica is one of them. And I believe DCBA has just started that, or that's been enacted.
Hollywood.
West Hollywood. See, everybody pipes in with all the, see, I love this.
Which is crazy because I had tenants who insisted on a 6-month lease not that long ago. who then signed a year lease after the 6 months. So what are you gonna do?
Okay, everybody got their pen and paper ready? I'm gonna do something for a new friend of mine that's gonna either love or hate me in a very rapid fashion. I found us a new insurance agent, you guys. No joke. Everybody got pen and paper ready? His office is in Simi Valley. His name is Vance. He owns Vance, and I don't know how to say his last name. And if I screw this up, Vance, I apologize. Vance Linge, Linge Insurance Services. His office number is 805 579 0985. I'm going to repeat that. Everybody pay attention. 805 579 0985. He is ready and willing to insure in LA County and will also be more than happy to try to get you insurance for habitability issue or hold on. I'm going to wait for the term because I know what I want and I know what you guys want. I just got to think of what it's called. What is it called? What do we want? Unlawful eviction. There it is.
What about tenant harassment?
Keep talking. Keep talking. No, he covers all of California, baby. All insurances, car insurance, vehicles, toys. He's licensed in multiple states. Okay? This is the new guy. This is the new guru. You call Vance and you tell him Widget sent you. Okay? But he is willing to give us the insurance that everybody else is hiding, for lack of a better way to say it. Call Vance. No joke. Tell him Widget sent you. Okay?
Are these admitted or unadmitted carriers? Not that it really matters, but
Hang on, because he will answer me that question in just a second. And if he wants to, I'll even let him talk. But he might not want to. Vance, a great guy, does insurance on toy haulers, motorhomes, commercial insurance, multifamily, residential dwellings. You guys, I found our guy. Okay, I grilled him. He gave me all the answers I wanted. So give him a ring. He just got kicked out of the meeting. I have to invite him back. Oh God, let's see if I could do that. Hang on. How do I do that, folks? Okay, let me close this. Oh, wait, I got him back in the room. All right, let's give him a second to get logged on. Vance, now I'm getting questions I can't answer.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Vance.
There's Vance. He's my new guy. Thank you, Vance, for helping us. You have no idea. We are so grateful for you. Tell us what you can offer us, how you can help us, please.
So I'm a farmer's agent as well as a broker. So I have the ability to write a lot of things that we're finding a lot of carriers not wanting to include in their policies anymore. Habitability being a big one. If you're a property management firm, I can also handle that where you have the Fair Housing Act coverage, the unlawful eviction. We can cover that through a number of different ways. We can add EPLI to your policies with a third party component to it that will also cover some of the harassment issues that tenants are filing against property owners when they're trying to evict them or pay or quit or any of those things. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. And we do have several programs, some preferred, some non-admitted. Depends on the building, the property, California. Age of property is a big deal right now. Prior claims is a big deal. So
All the sudden
we
questions
have
are
all of
coming
the
in.
things. We have all the
Vance,
things. Yes, I do fair plan. I saw that pop up. We are registered with the fair plan to write commercial and personal
landlord policies
properties.
for condos.
Yep, we can do landlord condo policies, no problem. Condos rented to others, none of that's an issue.
What kind of
Multifamily,
what
commercial real
kind
estate.
of what kind of habitability does insurance need to cover in the city of LA? Now, let me answer that. Sometimes your tenant moves out and then they turn around and sue you for not providing them a habitable premises while they lived there. Insurance would help cover you for that.
Yeah, the policy, the habitability issues that come up. most policies are excluding habitability or having, low limits on them. When we write a policy, whether it's a standalone or it's through an EPLI, just by having the policy, there's a duty to defend. So you have that. Sometimes, again, depending on each property is going to be different. If there's a history of claims or what have you, but for the most part, the duty to defend protects you guys. It provides legal counsel. You're not dipping into your own pocket for the legal counsel to try to get yourselves out of whatever mess your tenant has put you in. And again, there's no guarantee that it's going to be a covered loss, but until the investigation is done and determined, then at least you have
a
legal
better
counsel
chance.
to talk to.
Yeah,
you do. You have a better chance.
Yeah. Then we're okay with better chances, Vance. Also,
Yeah.
do you cover properties rented for 30 or 60 days at a time, like short-term rentals?
We do have some short-term rental carriers. If the property is listed on VRBO or Airbnb or anything like that, we do have some carriers that can do that specifically, yes.
Okay, so wait a minute. Pause. Everybody, I told you I found us a new insurance guy. I wasn't joking. He
May I
does
ask you a question?
everything.
Vance, could I ask you a question? My name is David.
Hi, David.
Okay, the problem I'm having is that all my other properties are with farmers, but there is one property in San Bernardino next to the mountain, not inside, but next to the mountain. They're refusing to provide insurance because they say it's too close to the fire.
Correct.
Now, do I have any chance with you to get insurance on this? Because the insurance they're giving me is out of state and it's super expensive.
Well, and that's kind of the market, David. Unfortunately, there's a lot of carriers doing it. It depends on who your contact is talking to. If you're with farmers with a lot of other properties, I'd probably step on some toes, reviewing anything related to farmers. I wouldn't have a problem reviewing anything not related to farmers. And just to kind of give you some pointers and see if I think there's anything better. But if you've got a farmer's agent and that's the person writing it outside, I got to think we're probably using some of the same markets. While there are a lot of us out there, we don't really cross paths too much. But the outside market, as we call it, or the excess and surplus lines market, if you're landing there due to fire, you're going to have a higher premium. There's just not really anything we can do about it.
No, I don't have a problem paying higher premium, but my problem is that I started with another out of state. All the other properties I have with farmers, they continue. But because I started with another insurance, I cannot seem to bring this in with farmers. I don't know. Farmers is a very reliable company, and I'd like to have them add my property if it's possible with your help.
Yeah, David, if they've already declined it, they've declined it more than likely because of the fire score, the brush fire score. And the minute we get a no because of fire risk, they won't review it. They won't even if you have a large portfolio, farmers isn't the only one that would say no. If it goes against their fire line guidelines, there are really no exceptions that I've seen, and I've been at this for a while. And with the landscape of insurance in California, what it's happening with fires, there's just not really a whole lot of wiggle room or bend from the carriers. That's why the outside market has become such a valuable tool, not only to us, but to our property owner clients, because it gives us a place to go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And then I have another question for you. Somebody said, may we please have your email to send over details on our situation for a quote? And I put it in there, farmers, Simi Valley at sbcglobal.net. Is that correct, Vance?
That's correct. Just remember there's two S's there in the middle. Farmers is plural, and then Simi Valley. That's kind of the most common mistake when trying to send an email.
Okay, I see that, and I did type it incorrectly. Is that correct?
Yeah, I saw it. It's correct.
Okay. And thank you for pointing out the double S's. Again, Vance's phone number is 805-579-0985. Tell him Widget sent you. I told him I would bring him a plethora of people, and I don't think he believed me. We're not done yet, Vance. This is just my group.
Right, right.
G. Jones, you have a question. County of San Bernardino flood zone. Are you asking me if the county of San Bernardino is in a flood zone? Or are you asking if he does flood insurance in the county of San Bernardino? Help me, G. Jones. Yes. Which one?
Yes.
Yes, he
If,
does do flood insurance.
if there is we have a couple of different ways to do flood insurance. If you've got a lender on your property that's requiring you to have flood insurance, you're more than likely in a flood zone. We can go to the National Flood Program and do a zone determination based on the address. If it is in a flood zone, there's maximums that government program will allow. The commercial side's a little expensive on flood. I won't lie to you there. But you don't have to cover the full amount of the building to, loan to value wise. So if you've got $1 million plus in coverage on your building, the National Flood Program maximum for commercial, I think it's 500,000, and your lenders have to accept that. They can also force you to get the maximum, but they don't tend to force you to get any excess flood coverage on top of that. So at least in that regard, whether you need it or not, and you actually think there's going to be a flood in that area, we can get you that coverage if it's required by your lender. If you're not in a flood zone, then don't worry about it. The flood program is for natural disaster type floods, not overflowing toilets.
Thank you. Not for an interior flood.
Correct.
And to answer questions, just to give a brief synopsis, Vance does insurance on everything. Okay. Everything. Got it? He is also at 805-579-0985, and he covers multiple states, not just California. So everything inside California, but he also covers other states as well.
Yeah, and if you have properties that are in other states that I'm not licensed in, it takes about 4 days for me to get a license in that state. And I have other programs that will appoint me and allow me to write in those states once I show proof of my license. So that's kind of how I ended up in multiple states, because I had multiple property owners buying properties in Idaho and Texas and New Mexico. So we pretty much have the Western United States covered.
That's awesome. I can't thank you enough for joining us. I'm sure we're going to have you back. And feel free to come join us anytime you want to, Vance.
Sure, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for taking care of my people. These are my people, my group. Okay.
Hey,
So,
can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Is there any real downside to the out of state, the unadmitted carriers, as long as they're like well rated financially with the AM Best and stuff? It doesn't seem like there's a huge advantage to the admitted carriers, right?
Well, the huge advantage to an admitted carrier is premium. When you get into it, for the most part, when you're with an admitted program, you're probably going to have a better premium, depending on age of building and all that stuff. So the non-admitted programs, you're probably going to have a higher premium, but there's not really a downside. We don't write any carrier that is not A-rated and not AM Best rated. There are other rating companies or firms out there. We don't touch any of them because most lenders don't acknowledge them.
okay.
So if it's not AM Best rated, we don't touch it.
What is the rating based on, Vance?
Financial strength. So, if you've got an A rating, A plus superior, you've got like 500 billion in the bank. You know, a lot of these companies are mostly conglomerates and owned by somebody bigger. Some of these are owned by preferred carriers. USLI has a company named Mount Vernon, and they're not admitted. We write a lot of business with them. We have, I mean, there's so many of them. There's just a lot that we like. We like Scottsdale a lot. We like Kinsale. There's certain syndicates with Lloyd's of London that you know are really easy to work with. You know, and a lot of times it's our wholesalers that find these niche markets that really help some of our clients out. Who are, you know, coming into the market kind of new because you know, ultimately what they want to do is buy up premium dollars and grow that book of their business. And so sometimes their premiums are a little bit better for a couple of years. So we stay there. You know, so it just kind of depends. But the AM Best rating is based on their financial strength.
But the only real thing you get from the state is like the premiums guaranteed, I think, for an admitted carrier.
Yeah. So when you, Chris, if you write a policy through me and it's a non-admitted carrier, you're going to get a form, or any broker for that matter, you're going to get a D1 form. That D1 form is a disclosure stating that you're aware you're being placed in with a non-admitted carrier who's licensed in the state but not admitted in the state where your property is or where we're writing that piece of business. And ultimately what that means is they don't have to pay into SIGA. SIGA is the California Insurance Guarantee Association. So if a carrier were to happen to go insolvent or belly up, all of their claims go to SIGA. And they sit there and you get, you know, adjusted for pennies on the dollar because there's only so much money left in the bank. And so everybody gets kind of prorated. A non-admitted carrier doesn't pay into SIGA, nor are they faced with playing by those rules. Ultimately, that's why we only go to A-rated carriers, because most of the carriers that you find SIGA dealing with were B-rated and below anyway, and they didn't have enough money, and that's why they're insolvent.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Very
Again-
informative. Thank you so much.
Yeah, again, thank you, Vance. I have a feeling you're going to hear a lot from our people in the very near future.
Well, that's great. Hey, and guys, I have a client coming in here at noon that I have to get ready to meet with. So I'm going to jump off. It's a pleasure to meet all you guys. If you have any questions, advice, you need some advice, whatever, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. My cell phone number, Widget, you have my cell phone number, so feel free to give that out after I jump off. I don't have a problem with that.
Right,
Just
you got
if you
it,
guys
Vance.
if you text me kind of blindly, just let me know that, you know, you're part of Widget's group or what have you, just so I know who I'm talking to. And, you know, if I can be of any assistance, I'm here for you.
Vance, it's Arlene. Call me when you have time. Thanks.
Yeah, Arlene, how about 1:30?
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, I'll talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and just so you guys know, I will go ahead and put his cell phone number on blast. He said I could, right? That's 805-915-7148. 805-915-7148.
And the other number was 805-579-0985.
That's his office.
Right. But
Can
you
you
got that
repeat
right though, right?
the other one, please? Both
Yes,
of them
it's-
one more time, please.
Office 805-579-0985. Repeating, office 805-579-0985. Cell phone 805-915. Somebody tried to call me. Hang on. Okay. Cell phone 805-915-7148. Again, 805-915-7148. And email is farmers with an S and then Simi Valley. So 2 S's in there at sbcglobal.net. That's farmers Simi Valley at sbcglobal.net.
I found the email to be the most responsive and quickest response.
Well, you didn't have, oh, okay. No problem. There you go. There you have it. Email quickest response. And pretty quick response. Yes, Arlene?
Yes. Yeah. He got right back to me and we're we've been playing a little phone tag for the last couple of days, but yeah, but thanks for going to bat for us, Patty. I'm anxious to see what he can do.
Absolutely. You guys, I am consistently going to bat for you because people are consistently contacting me with your guys' problems, whether it be insurance issues or whatever issues. So when somebody comes up to me and they try to sell me a product, I grill them. And if I'm not interested in their product, I don't bring it to you. I met Vance through happenstance, had no idea what he did, spent the day with him, not knowing what he did. Okay. Rode in a car with him driving, not knowing what he did. He didn't know what I did. Built a friendship, asked one dumb question. Hey, what do you do for a living? And he said, oh, I'm an insurance agent. And I was like, really? And then as we started talking, I realized that all the people we were there with were all his clients. It was his insurance people all coming together. So now I realize there's a community of people that he helps and they're all good people. So now I want to grill him and start asking him questions. So yes, I sat there and vetted him in the middle of a campsite, no joke, for a good hour and a half. And I was happy with the answers that he had. So I invited him to come share his experience he gave me a little bit more information on habitability insurance that we're all looking for and answered a lot of questions I had in regards to it and why it's difficult for some owners to get and not for others. And he was able to tell me a lot more information and say that it is more readily available than you think. So I immediately wanted to share with you guys who I found. I love it when I find these people that want to help because right out of the gate, they tend to do really good for somebody right out of the gate. But what I've seen from Vance is he has a lot of people that he does really good for all the time, not just right out of the gate. So I am spreading him to you guys, hoping that he can help you with your investments and help you cover your assets a little bit better. I know he's going to be covering mine because I am going to make the change as well.
Patty, I have two quick questions, please.
Sure.
One is this. If I give a rent increase in January, which will become effective in March in LARSO, is it the new law? Is it retroactive? I have to pull back and give him money back because this thing that came about is retroactive?
Here's my opinion, not my advice. And I'm sure Chris is going to pipe up here, okay? If he's still on. You currently have a permit from the city for your property that says that you can charge 3% till the end of the year or till the end of June, right?
Yes.
So that's something that somebody's going to argue. They did their emergency order in December and talked about how they were going to recalculate the amounts going forward. And then in December, they did that. In February, they did something else saying, no, that's effective now. All of it's effective now in February. So they keep going back and forth and back and forth. And if you pay attention, here's what I could tell you. It's not even 60 days and they're changing the rules. Not even 60 days go by and they change the rule. They keep changing the rule. So as for right now, at the apartment association, I am telling people, as our attorney has suggested, it's 90% of the CPI from today going forward. That is what our attorney is suggesting.
Okay,
As far
Patty,
as you
the next question.
as far as you going backwards and fixing what's already been done, that is a question for your legal counsel because
Yes,
it's what they're willing to argue.
Okay, Patty, the other question is the puzzle for me. If a person is deceased in a unit, you need, of course, to let potential applicants know about it for 3 years, but unless it's an HIV cause. Now, my question is, how do you know it's an HIV cause or not?
No, you don't know if it's HIV, and the reality of that is, I'm going to say something, you guys, and it's an opinion, okay? So just remember, I'm giving you an opinion, David. HIV hasn't been a problem in the US for quite some time. We don't have an outbreak of new cases, okay? This is something that we dealt with back in the 90s? Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And now through education, we have eliminated it from having new diagnoses. Okay. So HIV and AIDS is not the problem it was 10 years ago, not the problem it was 20 years ago. Okay. Nobody's going to disclose whether it's HIV or not. And quite frankly, we don't have new cases of it being diagnosed. As nicely as I could say this, I wouldn't be too concerned with that problem. Okay, David?
Yes, yes, thank you. I got it. You made
No
it
problem.
clear.
And that's just me giving you my opinion.
Hey, Patty, I went
Yes.
on LAHD a couple of days ago just to see, they have a rent calculator to see what they're showing. And they're still showing 3%.
If you call the county today and ask them how much you can raise your rent because you have a permit in your hand, they tell you 3%. Everything says 3%. Nothing says 90% of the CPI, even your certificate.
No, the certificate says, there's some language that starts off, depending upon what the council says, or something like that. There's something on there that they're going to probably use to get out of it.
All I
What
know.
it is, Chris?
I punt. I'm not anyone's attorney here. Sorry.
No, I know, but I'm just
We
saying.
know
the
that. We just
certificate
want
of
to know what
registration,
your
it was just
opinion is.
I didn't know if you had it in front of you or something.
I
There's
don't.
something, yeah, there's something on there that says, but when I put in to see if they've changed it to calculate, it's still saying.
Hey,
I
Arlene,
wouldn't really rely on the city housing department for much.
No,
right?
but I mean, if you get nabbed and you got a printout of it with
Yeah, I mean
you know, that's
it
what they're
makes you look
showing.
better. Like,
Or
what am I
Arlene.
supposed to do here?
Yeah.
Everybody go on LAHD's website and screenshot where you can charge 3% with today's date on the screenshot.
Yeah.
Just put that in your file, okay? CYAP, cover your ass with paper.
No, but you know what was interesting, Patty, though? But it said, because I wrote in, what is the CPI? And it said February 3.0, March 2.9. And I want to see if there's an April there because they're doing it.
I don't even see how March could be done yet. Isn't it always a backwards calculation?
That's what I didn't understand.
Also, I expect it to go up because of the price of oil has been up like all March. It was over 90 a barrel. So
It was 112 yesterday.
Well, yeah, but then it went way down. I don't want to get into politics.
Yeah,
it went
yeah.
way down. So, but I expect the April one's going to go up. But
I mean, if you have I have a July 1 rent increase, and I don't know, like, do you go for it and go for 2.9, and then if it's different, you can change it? I mean, like, what do you go high and then try to lower it versus trying to go low and go
I don't know. What's the relationship like with the tenant? How combative are they? How nice are they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
nifty.
It's not always super likely that somebody's going to, get into it with you. It's the worse the tenant they are, the more likely usually, unless like they have a major personality change or something.
No, I get it, but it's just like nobody can give me a straight answer.
Right. I mean, welcome to landlording in California.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's awful, and that's why,
but we should be getting something this month, no, right?
I wanted to make sure you knew that according I asked the city housing department, so I have it in an email somewhere, but if you're renting out a condo, it's only subject to certain portions of the RSO, and it's not subject to the actual rent increase parts. You're only subject to state law for a condo as long as the tenancy was commenced after 1996. So if you ever really want to get someone out, you can raise it a lot higher than that. You're not subject to that 2.9 or 3% or whatever.
A single family townhouse and condo, yeah.
Anyway, I didn't, it's never, considering the fact that they make you register, and I'm not even sure their certificates are even accurate in their statements because of that. But then you find out from the housing department, oh no, like they're only partially, even though like when I think of rent control, I think of actually controlling the rent increase. not all the other
Right.
aspects.
Well, I'm going to try to go on to the meeting today at 3:00 and see if I can get any updated answers. They usually
Well,
don't.
you know,
They
if
usually
you
don't give
do,
it, but
why
I'll
don't
let
you
you know,
try?
Patty.
Why
please
don't you try
share with us.
emailing?
Huh?
Do you have that email for question? Or there's like a
I've
web
emailed
page.
them. They don't. I've called them. She
They
put me
don't
on hold.
respond.
They
Talk to
have
the
like a web
supervisor.
page. I think they have a specific web page they want you to use though.
Yeah, I've tried that. They
Yeah, I
don't.
didn't
They
want.
don't. They come back and they say we don't know. We don't have an answer yet. We don't know.
Well, I mean, if then
I mean, if
yeah,
they don't
that
know, how am I
sucks.
supposed to know?
All right, you guys. I'm going to answer a couple of questions really quickly, not to take us off that topic.
All
I
right,
just want to make sure we answer them. Val, screw the trees, serve the pamphlet. I know it's a lot more paper and you feel like you're wasting it. I just did a packet with Arlene. It was over 158 pages of a lease packet at move-in. No joke. We counted them. So I hate to say it, kill the trees, serve the pamphlet. I know it's a lot of paperwork. I know it seems redundant. It's there for a reason. Julia, just do the addendum, adding addendum. On this day, we would like to amend the current lease contract in place dated blank date to add the additional person of blank as an additional leasee. All of their terms are to remain in full effect.
Patty,
You got it.
I would like to know if we can. I'm sorry, I don't want to.
You're fine. Go, baby, go.
Circling back to my unauthorized occupant. If you were in my shoes, I haven't increased rent in 2 years. She's already paying a pretty high rent. It's a very large house. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, and it's only 2 people in there. So the fact that there's an unauthorized occupant, I know it's the daughter's boyfriend. I really don't care, but I do want to increase the rent. How would you go about it? Just doing a regular increase and ignoring the boyfriend?
Just raise a rent increase, because look at it this way. Is the boyfriend actually living there, or is he just coming over every night?
I
You know,
think
it's a new relationship. Hold on.
no,
And
they've been together since high school. Like he's a long-term boyfriend.
I got you. So then I would address it accordingly, but if it were me, I would just raise the rent.
Okay.
Because at this point it's a boyfriend and I'm not sure that they're living there. He does spend a lot of time there because they're in a relationship. They're young, it's new, it's fresh, yada yada.
So ignore the boyfriend and just increase the rent.
Yep.
Okay.
What I would do. My lease says the term of the agreement is for blank. I put 1 year, but if I change the move-in date, you can still put 1 year. It's just less than a year. You can put in there, my lease is for the term of 11 months, if you want to be specific. Just put 11 months. It's an 11-month term. All right. Anybody else have anything? Otherwise, I got to get off of here. I'm going to be in trouble. All right. You guys know how to hunt me down.
Thank
Please,
you.
by all means, go talk to Vance if you're looking for insurance. If you're tired of insurance, go see if he can save you some money. Let's all try to grab a hold of him and get him as best we can. I'm sure that he will be able to offer us, a lot of us, a financial break than what we've been used to. If you guys need anything else, hunt me down. I'm at Agla till 4:30 today, but you can always text or call me, and I will call you back then. Everybody have a great week. I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Patty. Bye.
Thanks, Patty.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
It was great to see everybody. Bye.